So as mentioned before, all of these folks will be, so Engineered Arts has a booth outside. You can check out a little bit of what they're doing. And then we have a session later on today. We'll have folks from Coveo and G2, as well as Kronos, talking through a little bit more about these technologies. So it is my honor to pass over in this last session that will talk through a little bit about some of the great work that all of you are doing with the platform. Please give a warm welcome to our CTO, Andy Sen.
Thank you, Joshua, and thank you all for being here. It is my great privilege today to talk about how our customers and partners are using the AppDirect platform to really drive digital endurance. And our customers are not just enduring, they're succeeding. Over the last year, we've seen an increase of 3x in the annual revenue transacted on the AppDirect platform. This is due to the success that you've had in selling to end customers and the confidence that you have in migrating existing books of business onto the AppDirect platform. Now, over the next 2 days at this conference, you'll be hearing from a lot of our customers. There are breakout sessions and keynotes and talks and panels from ADP, Vodafone, Deutsche Telekom, Keller Williams, and many more. What I'm going to be doing now is spending a little time just highlighting some of those and explaining how they fit into this paradigm of digital endurance and the strategies that you needed there. Now, the first principle is to maintain harmony. Endurers harmonize with their environment. They stay sensitive to their environment, always learning from and adapting to changing times and trends. And as a monetization and cloud management platform, the first aspect of that is to be able to customize. And the AppDirect platform has always been a highly customizable one, always white-labeled, always allowing customers to build on top of it. Deutsche Telekom, for example, have built out an extensive content management system around AppDirect, where they explain the value props of all the products there, specifically to the small, medium business user in Germany. ADP has experimented with the interface and have seen real increases in both engagement and conversion. The storefront builder that was announced today allows us to customize even faster, more, and easily. The add-ons that we just mentioned, both G2 as well as Coveo, was built on top of this new technology. But that's just the beginning. You can now customize your commerce experience. Once you take customization, you add to that the ability to click and create marketplaces. And then you add to that features like the network add-on, which allow you to manage centrally a wide variety of marketplaces. And you have now moved to becoming a real platform. We have had several customers who are already on this journey today. Simon from Vodafone will talk later about how Vodafone has currently 6 marketplaces live right now across multiple geographies, with the potential to add dozens more in the future. No strategy is more emblematic of the digital age than the growing trend of embracing decentralization. You could say this was kicked off by Apple when Steve Jobs was persuaded, took some persuasion, to open up the iPhone platform to third-party developers, which gave us the App Store, the most successful ecosystem today. And AppDirect customers have been creating digital ecosystems around their product for a long time. One of our early customers was ADP, and like Apple, they also have an extensive ecosystem of third-party providers, some of them cooperating, some of them competing on other aspects of their business. Recently, Keller Williams had a large developer convention where they incentivized developers to build on the joint Keller Williams and AppDirect platform and gave out prizes to the most innovative solutions. But we're all sort of familiar with how software ecosystems and high-tech ecosystems work. But ecosystems are everywhere. Telcos, for example, have always bundled services and products complementary to their offerings. Here, you can see example of Swisscom. They have a product which is essentially IT as a service to small, medium businesses all over Switzerland. I'm told there are billboards advertising this. I haven't seen the billboards myself, but we have seen the success that this is driving on the platform today. And it's not just services. Traditionally, telcos have sold large complementary pieces of hardware to their enterprise customers. They have sold firewalls, networking equipment, SIM cards, phones, many of which are being caught up by this trend of digitization. Instead of physical SIM card, most modern phones today have eSIMs. Instead of selling large networking equipment which are installed in your data centers, we now have software-defined networks that can all be put on the marketplace and sold as part of a compelling package. And you can go even beyond telecom. And I'm going to talk a little bit about ABB. They have the coffee machine outside. You've seen the robots making you a great cup of espresso. But they're also probably more well-known for very large industrial equipment, giant power transformers which power an entire factory or a group of factories. And ABB has selected AppDirect to be their partner in digitization. We're working with multiple of their business groups. And you could ask, well, you're selling a giant transformer. How does that lend itself to digitization? How do you digitize such an enormous piece of equipment? And the reality is that there are many ways that it can be done. First of all, the data that that transformer is emitting, the primary data about what's going on, what are the electrical cycles like, all of that can be packaged. They can be enhanced via software, so you get additional measuring capabilities. That can be put on a marketplace. That is digitized. You can monitor the equipment to see how it's doing. So you can proactively know when you might need maintenance for it. That's a digital package. And finally, you can take both these types of data, combine it with artificial intelligence, and come up with a system which provides insights on economic risks and successes of how the entire project is doing, which is really a great example of both digitization as well as the trend towards artificial intelligence that Nicolas talked about. The next trend is around value hubs. Again, something that the AppDirect and the AppDirect platform has been doing for a while. We build and bring applications, devices, and people together. And I'm going to give you some very diverse examples of value hubs that we have helped create. The first one is CleverTouch, who are a hub of a classroom experience. They build large, flat-screen televisions which have the ability to run educational applications on them. These are obviously then put into classrooms where they can be used by the teachers and the students. We have built and enabled multiple layers of personalization on them. To begin with, the school administration can decide what kind of applications should be on these devices. Further, an individual teacher can decide which applications make sense for his or her classroom. And of course, the apps themselves can be personalized for each individual student. So, a real example of how personalization drives a technology from being a solution to a hub. Next is Verifone. Verifone and AppDirect are going beyond payments. A point-of-sale terminal like Verifone is really the hub of any retail experience. At the end of the day, the customer comes in, they browse, but the important thing is they have to make the sale. They have to complete the transaction. And so what happens on these point-of-sale devices is vital to the retail owner. Now, the reality is, in retail and hardware, is that there are many different types of Verifone devices. There are different versions of the devices, with new versions coming out pretty frequently. So when a retail owner decides to buy a third-party application, let's say they buy an inventory management tool, AppDirect, the app devices functionality within AppDirect, we make sure that that third-party application is consistently installed across all devices and all versions of the devices, so that from the retail point of view, the owner has one consistent experience, the customer has one consistent experience, and this can be the hub of the whole retail experience. And finally, I'd like to talk about Jaguar Land Rover. There's a Jaguar, there's a Range Rover car behind there, which I welcome everyone to check out. Now, cars are a natural extension of ourselves. People base a lot of their personal brand on the cars that they drive. We've been working with Jaguar Land Rover for a while. Right now, every one of their vehicles all over the world, the dashboard is controlled by AppDirect. The apps on the dashboard, whether they're news, music, weather, they're personalized and powered by AppDirect. But we've taken that one level further, so that now those apps, those personalized apps, are no longer just available in the dashboard, but will be available on the mobile device of the driver themselves, further cementing the place as a real personal hub. At AppDirect, we spend a lot of effort enabling our customers to grow effortlessly. You've already seen the product announcements about our app reseller capabilities. And we've had a lot of success. We've seen a lot of success with our customers. We started with SoftBank in Japan. There's Dustin. And right now, I want to just spend a little time highlighting Cancom, one of our app reseller customers in Europe. They've been with us on a great journey. They've helped push the envelope. They've been one of our early adopters. They were the first of our customers to sell AWS. And they've seen great results. They've been beating their targets consistently. But once again, this ability isn't just restricted to software. All kinds of agents selling all kinds of hardware, software, and services can use these same capabilities. And they don't even need to think of themselves as resellers. They could be anything from agents, real estate brokers, teachers, or anyone who has to sell a third-party product and then be able to collect revenue and reconcile it among different parties. All of them can use the app reseller module you see here today. And direct to indirect isn't the only opportunity to grow effortlessly. The world is a big place, and unlocking global sales is definitely a key way that a lot of companies would want to expand. However, expanding globally is not that easy. One of our first customers was here in Canada, so the AppDirect platform has always been multilingual, supported multiple currencies, but it's not just languages and currencies which make business across countries different. There are regulations, both government, there's regulations in terms of what people expect, everything from privacy laws to even how line items are rounded up and down can change. And the AppDirect platform is built to help you succeed on your global journey. In the last couple of days, many of the AppDirect engineers right here in Montreal have been working on PSD2, which is a compliance mandated by the European Union for all credit cards. They've been working internally, they've been working with our payment gateway partners. It's not the most demoable feature, but it's essential. And so, if you want to unlock global sales and grow effortlessly worldwide, it's really important to realize that you have a partner like AppDirect, because we spend a lot of effort clearing the path for you to do so. Now, this idea of multidimensional commerce, using multidimensional commerce to really enhance and optimize your digital supply chain. We've been talking about this for a couple of years. We've been releasing a lot of features which help you. So here's some concrete examples. Time to market for a product, getting a product from inception all the way to a point where it can be sold, is clearly a very important part of the digital supply chain. Thank you, Matthew, for this kind testimonial. But once again, it's important to know that just getting a product onto a marketplace is just the beginning of the journey. All these products that are onboarded can now be marketed together, they can be bundled together, sold together, invoiced together, and once they're sold, they can be managed together from the customer, all from the same interface. That's multidimensional commerce, and that's how you enhance your digital supply chain. And it's not simply about taking one application and pushing it through the supply chain. Now, depending on your use case, you might have a few, dozens, hundreds, or thousands of applications that you want to push through. And we have built a lot around scale as well. Our largest marketplaces now have over 3,000 independent applications that are bought, sold, managed out there. And finally, just want to spend a few minutes talking about AppDirect and digital endurance. To succeed in the new economy, you want a partner who will digitally endure. And AppDirect, the company, the product, we spent some time thinking about the lessons of digital endurance and how to apply them. You just heard a lot about our new add-on store, which is decentralization. But along with that, we've spent a lot of effort in even further becoming a platform. We have broken up our former monolithic architecture into a set of small services which are managed by Kubernetes. Now, what's the benefit to you? Well, the benefit to you is that these small services can far more easily be combined together, enhanced, so new features, whether they're infrastructure, new customizations, can all be built quickly and delivered to you in a faster and more secure environment. And there's another benefit of that as well. As we have broken up the platform, we can now deploy the AppDirect platform across any hyperscale cloud provider, either wholly or partially. Now, this gives you choice, of course, but it also helps reduce our operational costs. And the cost savings that we get, we plow right back into innovation, plow right back into new features. And demonstrating these innovations, announcing them, talking about them is what we're going to do for the next couple of days here at Engage. There's so many booths and innovation breakthroughs out there. But to me, it's still just the second most important part of this conference. The first is all of you. It's about you. And it's about hearing your stories about what you're doing with the platform or what you intend to do with the platform. Having all of us together here in Montreal for the next 2 days and getting those lessons, celebrating our triumphs, talking about our challenges is what I think makes this conference so great. I'm really looking forward to it, and all of you, please have a great Engage. Thank you.